Welcome to the Local
724 podcast.
In 3, 2, 1. What's up, Jess?
Oh, nothing. What's going on?
Not much. There's a podcast that I've been looking forward to since I started, for sure. You like to, you got your hands on a lot of things going on here in Greensburg.
Just a bit. Not everything, but some things.
Right. So with the downtown Greensburg project, you're getting a new space.
I am. I'm so excited. It's our first office.
That's
Never
awesome.
had. It's been 4.5 years, which is when we started the project, 4.5 years ago, of working out of coffee shops, my house, and the bike shop. We've worked out of there a lot too. So it's kind of awesome to actually have like a real space and to get all of the stuff out of my house into an office.
So you're located in a pretty booming area right now. You're
Yeah.
going to be down on Pennsylvania Avenue?
Mm-hmm. Yep, at 136, which is right where the White Elephant just opened a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and next to the brewery, Invisible Man, you guys had on for your first episode.
Yep.
So it's a good spot. It's
is
a dangerous spot. Also in that building that I'm in is a Trendy Bunny, which is a children's boutique. And inside the Trendy Bunny, they'll have the Tea Life, which is Lacey Dowds. You might know her. She has t-shirts. She's been at Night Market a few times. And Little Gray House, which is Jen. She has like woodworking, like beautiful signage and kind of home items.
Yeah.
They're going to be in there as well. So I will have no money because I'm just going to shop.
Shop with your neighbors. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good thing to do. So downtown Greensburg project. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that for a second. So you are from Irwin.
Yeah.
How did you end up doing a blog for Greensburg?
So when I graduated college, I went to Slippery Rock. I worked in Westmoreland County up at what's it called? The gym above. Oh my gosh, Best Buy, Westmoreland Athletic Club. I worked there for like 2.5, 3 years, and so it was my first like real being in Greensburg a lot. Because I never really came out here that often unless it was to the mall. We never went downtown. It was always to the mall, right, Yeah. So I kind of got like just started going in town then. Started working at other jobs, worked at a production company for a while, and then I moved to downtown Greensburg actually above the brewery, the current brewery. I lived there for about 3 years. And when I lived there, I worked with Ashley Reefer, who owns Flat Tire Co. Bike Shop now. And we just worked together at the other location she was working at. And we wanted to do something in town. We wanted to be involved in the community and also make a difference in some sort of way. So we decided to start this website, blog, mostly website and social media. The blog kind of built itself over the last few years because no one was really doing what we thought could be done in a relatively easy way because of our backgrounds. I come from PR, social media background, and we could just do it all ourselves. So we started it, and it's kind of just taken off since.
It certainly has. So like most of the time I get my news from you.
Thanks.
I jump on Facebook and that's how I figure out what things are going on around here. And it's really awesome. I mean, just, starting this podcast and then figuring out, the local businesses that I want to follow and things like that. And it's, I just figure out, what you're talking about and things, and I'll go and I'll check them out and give them a follow and then follow their friends and so on and so forth. It's a great way to learn about the community and just, network with people. That's awesome.
We've tried to showcase as many people as we can. Obviously with my stuff, like it happens all the time. It's me and a couple interns, it's not a lot of, we're not big. It's literally nobody else. So for the most part, people do send us information or send us events, and that's how we kind of find out some stuff, but we scour Facebook and scour the internet to find whatever's going on. We talk to as many people as possible on a daily basis or weekly basis. We walk through town, we make our rounds and try to go to talk to people and see like, hey, do you have something coming up? Or, hey, do you have any new news that you like for your business or whatever? So it's been our goal to really, one, showcase what's going on event wise, because there's a lot of businesses that just have like smaller events that they want to showcase, whether it's a product or whatever it is that we want to make sure we're posting about, or even just like obviously the big events that happen in town we want to be showcasing, along with, development that's happening, or, hey, you need to meet this person, or just how Victoria won Miss Pennsylvania USA the other day, that kind of stuff. We want to make sure we're showcasing it. And we try to get it out as quick as we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really neat, I think, now with the developments and things going on in the community, and, you know, people like yourself who are, you know, taking a pretty, you know, forward approach to getting things out there and showcasing different businesses, introducing things like that to people who may not, you know, have any access to seeing that type of stuff. I think there's a lot of people around here or even close to here that really don't hang out downtown. And, you know, now that there is this buzz about downtown and what you're doing and what the Cultural Trust is doing, the developers who, you know, Suzanne Ward and the guys over at the Invisible Man Brewery and stuff, things are really popping up, and that's bringing people downtown. So it's very exciting.
It is really exciting. And like, you know, for so long I've been like kind of like waiting for this kind of stuff to happen, because I feel like if you talk to a lot of people, you'll kind of hear like, you know, it's been feeling like it's going to happen. You just know, like we're on the cusp of like all the development happening. If you go to like Hugo's on like whatever night, if there's a group of people standing around talking, and like if it's certain people, you're like, they're talking about what's going on, because we knew it was coming. Maybe not like what exactly it was, but you could just feel that something was going to happen. You know, with like people buying buildings or opening a business. And it's fun to know what's going to happen as well. We always have lots of secrets that we can't talk about. You know, I have stuff now that I would love to talk about, but I can't, that's coming up. But, you know, it's really exciting to see all that. And it really is making people come downtown or visit stores they've never seen before. You know, having a couple new businesses open forces people to walk around a little bit. And so they see some of the businesses that might have been here for 40 years, you know, and being like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know they did this service, or, you know, they had these kind of products. So it's not only like, yeah, it's great we're having these new businesses because they're new and fun, but also it's showcasing some of these businesses who've been here for quite a while. Yeah.
I mean, like typically it's a Thursday night. Me and my wife tend to go out on Thursday nights. We'll hit like Oliver's and things, and then we'll run down to the brewery just as of late. And it's so much fun to see people walking around. And like, you know, there's not an event every Thursday, but there's people moving. There's people moving around. We went down for the White Elephant opening and the brewery opening. That was just awesome. That was an incredible night because we had some friends with us, and, you know, the place was packed out, and everything was just different. It felt
different. It didn't feel like we were in Greensburg.
Not at all.
There was definitely a new demographic that was like out and about. You know, people kind of our age, we're in the same sort of bracket, the millennial bracket. You know, we go out, but like we're out sometimes, you know, and I think some of these newer businesses are allowing us to come out a little bit more. But it was really fun to see all of that, you know. But like both the two new businesses are like, the demographic that attracts them it's pretty wide, you know. For the boutique, it can be anybody from, you know, a teenager to, you know, a grandmother that can purchase something, and same with the brewery. Well, not the same demographic, not a teenager, you know, 21 and over really, because craft beer is so wide ranging in people who like it. So, you know, those two businesses have really been kind of this catalyst of new people coming out, which only is going to help everybody else. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that it should be noted that, you know, the White Elephant, I think that, you know, just hearing people talk and like conversations that I've heard, people think that place is like so expensive. It's not.
This was like $30. So
seriously.
Like it's not.
I mean, you can
go in the Irwin on today, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could go in and get like a really cool like bomber jacket or something like that. And I didn't see anything in there for over $70.
No, I mean, they definitely have some items that are more expensive, and like especially coming into the holiday season, holiday dresses and stuff, are more expensive. That's just how it is. But yeah, you can normally find something easily. It is like boutique pricing, but it's not super high end pricing.
Right.
So, which is really nice because like not only do we have like kind of like the 25 to 45 range, we have the college kids and the high school kids who might not have as much disposable income as somebody else who's a little bit older, so they can still purchase items there, you know. So it's gonna be a good, it's definitely a good addition to town.
Absolutely.
Whenever I've known them for quite a while, and because I live in Irwin, so fun fact, I live in Irwin. I've been shopping at their store since they opened.
Yeah.
I met them actually at the fashion show that the Cultural Trust used to do. I guess it would probably be 2 years now. And they did a pop-up during the fashion show. Like they had some of the girls walk, and then they had like, you could purchase items.
Oh, that's fun.
So there's other boutiques and they were there. So I've been shopping, and whenever they told me, they're like, oh, we're looking to open another store, I pushed so hard for Greensburg because I wanted them here so bad because I knew that they would do well. So, you know, kind of going through the process of they were looking for spaces, and then I had known about the building getting purchased by City Cribs, knowing like, hey, something cool to go in. And I was like, hey guys, you guys should connect. And Suzanne had already known Victoria because she had walked for Victoria during the fashion show that
cool.
1 year. So or it might have been that year. I don't know what year it was. They all blend together. But you know, so I'm so happy they're here, and being able to kind of see the process from the very beginning has been really exciting. And being in there like all the time, watching the progress of the actual build has been cool.
Yeah.
So
it's very neat. So lots of cool things going on in Greensburg for sure. Let's talk about your night markets, because I think that was kind of one of the first city events I think that me and my wife participated in. Yeah. And it was really cool. I mean, just to like go up there and see what local people were doing. And it's not all completely local. There's some people that come in from like West Newton, things like that. But it's a really cool thing you got going on. Yeah, I'm so excited we did it this summer. I've been wanting to do night markets for probably 2 years. I remember going back on my phone, like in photos, because I was like, just like screenshot like a design of something that I like. And night market has been one that's been like literally my phone for like 2 years. So it's been, whenever I decided to do it, I was like, where am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? Thought about Buncher Lot down by the post office. Right. I was a little bit concerned about bathroom situation and shutting down the entire lot because the majority of that, a portion of that lot is leased. So getting leased people out of spots is sometimes a little bit harder. So Kelly, and then I was like, all right, well, about the museum. So originally going to do it at the Westmoreland Museum because I could easily like just partner with them, shut down the lot and do it. So that was the original idea. We're going to do 5 of them. We're going to do all at the museum. Well, then I was talking to Kelly from the trust, and she said, we would love to do it also during TGIS. So I said, well, we'll do 6 next year, do 3 and 3, do 3 down by TGIS and 3 at the museum. Well, we were going to do it in the lot where they've had like the Music Fest. They shut down, what is that lot called? Helm and Grist. That lot. Good thing you know, because I'm
like thinking like in the meter feeder app, I'm like, which one is it? Should we talk about parking? We're not going to talk about parking.
Right.
So
we can actually talk about parking.
Yeah, we
Kelly
will.
and I talked about parking.
We will. But yeah, so we were going to do it in that lot. And after talking with Kelsey Millern from the city and Renee, who works in parking, we were kind of going back and forth. We wanted to have it there. And they said, well, why don't you just shut down the block behind the courthouse? You just need permission from, or courthouse. Yeah. Did I say courthouse? I don't know. I said, you just need permission from the poorhouse. That's why I got confused, to be able to shut it down. Yeah. And I said, okay. So we did that, and that's how it was kind of born. I wanted the balloons across, and I wanted really different vendors to come. You know, so I wanted like the food stuff, but I wanted, because obviously we have farmers who also do the Greensburg Farmers Market. We have some of those that are included, depending on the week. And then I wanted other stuff too. So, you know, we brought in kombucha, we brought in some dip mixes, we brought in some baked goods, we brought in some different stuff. And next year even, we're hoping to bring in some even cooler, like other cool stuff. We also have some artisans and to bring in. Some are from the Cultural Trust Art Incubator, and some are just, you know, people who have businesses. Right. So yeah, it was pretty successful this year. We're going to do 5 next year, May through September. Our plan, hopefully, is to do that whole block, like even in front of Poorhouse. Yeah. I need to get permission from a lot of people to make it happen. Right, yeah. So we're working on that right now because then we can fit more vendors and it makes it more, makes it a little bit bigger. The hardest part is making sure the cars are moved and yelling at people the whole week. So
I can't imagine that they wouldn't be into it because, I mean, just going back to the music fest that just happened, Oliver's, I happened to stumble in there just with my wife. We had plans with some friends and we didn't know. Yeah. We didn't know that the music fest was happening. And we just like got into Oliver's and we were like, what the hell is going on? Like the place was packed out.
Yep.
So I'm sure that they would.
Yeah. Oliver's is fine. Like I'm pretty sure they're cool with it because they even night market nights like they're getting pretty busy for that, and same as Rialto. So we don't have food trucks at our night markets.
Right.
We don't have food vendors. We kind of made that sort of deal that we wouldn't, and I'm okay with it because food trucks can take up 3 to 4 vendor spaces sometimes, depending on how large they are, and it's just a lot of extra logistics. And also like it's good to give those restaurants business that night. I think like Thursday's wing night at Rialto, or no, not Rialto, at Poorhouse. So like it's kind of, and we're gonna give the opportunity to sort of have those new vendors in. So we want to have the space for some new people, but we have to get permission from the county actually to be able to shut it down completely because there's the parking garage underneath. So of the courthouse. Right. So we're working on it.
Yeah. I mean, like speaking to that, everybody kind of sees these events happening and, a lot of people want more of that to happen. But in speaking with you and in speaking with Kelly, I've learned that there is quite a lot that goes into doing this on the back end. So like, what are some of the challenges that you face whenever you're doing, trying to organize an event like this?
Just speaking night market specific or like luminary night?
Just kind of like anything.
Okay. Because craft beer week's its own animal. So
right. Yeah. I was waiting to talk about that one.
Yeah. We'll wait on that one. That one's a little bit different. Like mostly in Greensburg, at least it's, coming up with the idea and then, kind of figuring out, because it depends on the event. So like night market we want to do a night market. Our biggest issue was finding the vendors and then the location. Once we did that, then it was, all right, well then I've never thrown a night market before, like how good, like we're just going to see how this happens. So the first one was really like trial and error, getting people in, getting cars off the street, because they bag the meters for us, but sometimes people don't listen to that. So we had to work around that. So we've learned different tricks to make sure the cars are off the road, kind of notifying people a little bit better. So now it's a little bit easier to get them off and make sure they're not in those parking spaces. And same with like luminary night, like it's making sure that we have the permissions we need, making sure our insurance is good because you have to have insurance to be doing this.
Of course.
Making sure that the city has it or whoever. Just getting all those permissions is kind of the first step, and then it's really like, all right, planning. Right. Getting the players that we want in there, creating the the graphics for Facebook and the website and all the social media, and making sure we're posting and scheduling stuff out. So it's more than just like one or two things. It's a lot. So,
and this is you and a few interns. Yeah. I mean, like it's pretty impressive. And
I don't sleep. No, I was gonna say I don't sleep, but I do sleep a lot. So it's fine.
I mean, just, hearing some of the challenges that you guys face and stuff, it really does make people more thankful and grateful that, you're doing this, even though, you might run into some issues or something like that. But, it's awesome to have somebody like you who sees that it's for the greater good and, it's what you got to do.
Yeah. And, every time we throw an event, there's always changes for the next one. Last year's Luminary Night was the first year that I took over Luminary Night or planned it. And so like this year, there's definitely changes. We did a survey after last year's, like, what do you guys want to see? What kind of activities? So we are implementing some stuff this year. We're doing a, Christmas night market. We're doing, which is going to be really fun.
That'll be awesome.
So that one's going to be smaller. It's going to be in Buncher Lot. As long as I get permission. I just sent the email today, so we should be fine though. It's going to be a smaller market, probably like 15 vendors, but very product or artisan focused, just because it's mostly Christmas gifts and things like that. So of that, we'll have obviously horse and carriage rides and we have 600 luminaries that will go around town. So if anybody wants to volunteer, let me know.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, and I know the Cultural Trust has a lot of fun activities planned for that. I think they're going to have an outdoor bar, ugly sweater contest, so some fun stuff. And we'll probably have a couple food trucks out. Yeah. All kinds of stuff.
So your first Luminary Night was last year?
That I hosted. So Luminary Night this year is the 50th year for it. So last year, a couple of the merchants have been kind of running it for the last few years. And last year I was like, hey, I really would love to help out and kind of just started implementing different things. You know, we did the make and take ornaments where kids could create ornaments and hang it on the tree that I don't think Greensburg's had a tree in a really long time. So we put a tree in the South Pennsylvania Avenue parklet. Mm-hmm. You know, we get that donated and have the lights donated and everything to be able to have that up for the whole season. So people can create ornaments and hang it on the tree. We have a photo booth. We have all kinds of fun activities.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, last year was the first one to this year. Obviously, there's definitely big changes.
Yeah. Last year, I planned on coming down. My wife and my mom and all the kids and stuff, they all went down. I ended up in LA at that time for a quick job. But then, you know, I was calling and I was talking to my wife and my mom, and they were just talking about how much fun it was and everything. I just think that's a lot of fun. The parklet down there, I think that's awesome. That's a great place to, you know, put the tree and, you know, have people go down there and add, you know, their flair to the tree. Like
a letters to Santa box there. So we'll have a station this year that is like the make and take ornament station, and then also letter to Santa station in like the same spot. If my office is open by then, it'll be there. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We're waiting on some stuff, but if that is the case, it'll be there, which is right across the street, or it'll be another location that people can go to. But the whole point of that event is kind of to get people to move around. So, you know, there's activities at like kind of art in the alley, I believe, is where they're going to be doing stuff in the courtyard. And then obviously all the stores and shops are going to be open and have like sales maybe, or, you know, whatever they're going to have at their stores. And then as you go further down Pennsylvania, obviously the activities at the parklet, stage right will be out and about, I think. And then as you go further down the night market in Buncher, and then the library has a lot of activities for kids. In like the basement level, Santa's down there. So you can go get a picture with him, and the horse and carriages are there. So, and there's live nativity too at the courthouse.
That's awesome.
So lots of stuff.
There's tons of stuff going on.
Yeah, really fun. And I'm sure I had heard rumors that there could be some new beers coming up for the holiday season.
That would be sweet.
We'll see.
So speaking of the parklet, I just wanted to talk about the food.
Yeah. Pantries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did you come up with this?
I did not. Well, I didn't come up with the final product that came out. So you were at our little parklet cleanup the first year.
Yeah.
You did a little video for us, which was awesome. So this year we were doing it again, and I had happened to be meeting with the Greensburg Volunteer Fire Department about an article, and they were talking about how their junior, I can't remember what it's called, Junior 424 something. It's their junior program, basically. Okay. That's the word I was looking for, junior program. Jeez. I didn't even have a beer today yet.
I should have brought some.
I know. I thought about it, and then it just didn't happen. Sorry. I'll go to the brewery afterwards. But no, their junior program wanted to, do a project. So they wanted to redo a little bit of the parklet, like clean it out a bit and put in a little free pantry. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, that was my idea for this year for the park, was to put in a little free pantry. So they had already raised the money for the pantries and were raising money or sponsorships to replace the benches that were in the park. So they came in and did all of that. And then we kind of went back in with some volunteers and cleaned out, replanted some plants, mulched everything, and kind of just brought it back to life for like the summertime. So then not only is the pantry in that park, there's also one at St. Clair and there's one at Lynch Field. We're working with a couple people right now to possibly put in 2 more in town. So it's really great. They're obviously getting used because I'm having trouble keeping them full. So
I see that.
Yeah. So it's been, we created the Amazon wish list. So if people can't actually go to the store, purchase items and put them in there, they can just go online to our wish list, pick out the items, and then they get delivered to us, and then we distribute them through the pantries, or they can still obviously put them in them themselves, or they can donate on the 30th at our Small Business Saturday event. They can donate products or items.
See, I think it's really cool that you give people different options. You can run to the store, you can grab some stuff and throw it in there. But, for people who might not think to do that while they're at the store or whatever, jumping on the Amazon wish list, that's awesome. And then that stuff gets delivered to
me.
You?
Currently at my house. It will get delivered to the office once we're in there.
Yeah.
I promise I do not eat any of the items. They all get put in the pantries. And then we bring them, my interns and I will go through everything, split them into boxes, and then then we distribute them to the boxes.
Yeah.
And kind of go through the boxes, make sure everything in there is in date, so nothing's expired, nothing's broken or open. And kind of take out anything that we've seen that's been sitting there for a long time. Dried beans, we pulled just because I don't know if people know how to make dried beans.
Right.
I mean, realistically, I know you have to soak them for a long time. That's all I know. Like, that's it. Like that, and some people who are using the pantry might not have the means to do that.
Right.
So we did pull out some items. So, on our wish list, we have a lot of ready-made stuff that you can heat it up, and some items you don't even need to heat up. A lot of single servings versus, big boxes of pasta, single serving pouches of ready-made stuff.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier.
Well, that's awesome. What kind of things would you say are the best items?
Going into right now, like this season, soups, stews, the ready-made stuff, hand warmers, like the hot hands.
Yeah.
We have those on the wish list. Fruits and vegetables are always good. We got the little packages of milk. You normally see them at Starbucks. They're like those organic. They're like little boxes of milk.
Oh.
But they're not, like, you don't have to be cold.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So we have those. I mean, they don't have to be cold, like, right now. Obviously, you want to try and keep them cold. But if they're in the boxes now, they're going to be very cold.
They'll be cold.
So those kind of things. We also do paper products, feminine hygiene products, what's called silverware, diapers, wipes. We try to put different stuff in there. Dog food, cat food.
Yeah.
So there's a wide range. I need to go through the list and like add some more stuff to it. But yeah, we even have little things like just granola bars and packs of what's it called, like peanuts or
like trail mix, things
trail
like
mix.
That. Yeah.
I was going to say goldfish. That's what I was thinking of. Goldfish
Nice.
crackers. Yeah. So we have like a wide range of stuff and everything. Like if you would go on, like you have a lot of options to choose from. If you're like, hey, I'm going to spend $20, I can get these two things, you know?
That's awesome. It's really cool. Like I wouldn't even have thought diapers, know, like feminine hygiene products, things like that. I mean, that's all stuff that absolutely people need.
Yeah. And you just don't think about it.
You don't think about it.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, I would think, right off the bat, I would think canned goods. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of
which is great, and we do have a lot of canned goods in there.
Yeah.
The only problem I see with canned goods is if somebody doesn't have a can opener.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I've kind of chosen items that are single serving because they're normally like the little pop tops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're plastic covers. So that's the only reason why I really chose those was because it was just a little bit easier to open if you didn't have something like that to open it with.
And that's good. That's good that, people are going to be able to hear about this and stuff. So, pop tops, definitely important.
Yeah.
So
yes, but we're doing a little food drive on November 30th, which is Small Business Saturday. So we'll be set up in the parklet with obviously boxes to collect items, maps, and now we're kind of switching subjects. Sorry,
That's all right.
kind of going into it.
Yeah.
Maps of town and the stores that are open, their hours they're open, and any sales or deals they'll have for that day. We'll be there for that. Hopefully, we'll have the Small Business Saturday bags. We're waiting for those to get in from American Express does National Small Business Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have some Greensburg apparel.
Nice.
For the first time.
That's awesome.
Finally.
I love swag.
Yeah.
I'm a big
so we're
swag
gonna
guy.
have that for sale. And then we'll have an online store too.
That's awesome. I use my bag for pretty much everything.
Oh, the night market bag?
Yep. I take my or the Small Business Saturday bag.
Oh, that one, yeah.
But I take that thing everywhere. Lunch on shoot days or something like that.
It's just an easy little bag to put stuff in.
I take that thing to Aldi's.
It's the best. The only problem with them, they're a little bit too small. So if I go to Aldi's, I need like 6 of them to be like, go buy everything.
I'm like this weird guy that goes and like, I don't know what I want to eat until the day, like today.
Yeah.
That's when I decide what I want to eat for dinner. So I go and buy like a meal a day. I'm a real weird guy.
The worst way to do it.
I know. It's probably the most expensive thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
But I walk into Aldi's and it's just like I want to buy everything. So I'm like, oh, these snacks look good. It's like Target when you go and you black out. When you're like, how did I spend $100?
So let's talk Beer Fest.
Yes.
Yes. So
good times.
good times. So as far as just like craft beer goes, just read the article that I forget who posted. I think Invisible Man actually just posted.
Oh, yes. The one that, yeah.
So craft beer is like the number 2 most popular thing in Pennsylvania right now.
I believe it. There's over 300 breweries in Pennsylvania. Right? Yeah.
And that's crazy because like whenever people think of craft beer, a lot of people think Colorado, California, things like that. Pennsylvania is like up there. Yeah. We're there.
Yeah. There's a lot of breweries.
It's nuts.
Makes it hard to go to all of them. But
right?
but there's a lot.
Yeah, there is. So how did you come up with the idea for this?
I didn't for this one. A friend of mine, Jen, she worked for a distributor for a while.
Okay.
And she came to me and Ashley, who owns Flat Tire, because we were doing the beer mile up at the fairgrounds for the Rodeo of Westmoreland.
Okay.
And she was like, you guys should do a craft beer week. We really should do it in Greensburg. And we're like, no, we're not doing it. We don't want to do this event. She was just opening Flat Tire, so there was a lot going on. Mm-hmm. So we said no. Fast forward a year, and the project was sort of starting to take off a little bit. So she's like, you should do it. And I said, okay, we'll do it. So we did that. This year was the 3rd year. So we did in what year is this? 19. So we did it in 2017 was the first year for Craft Beer Week. I think we had like 35 events that year. It was really well received by the breweries and the people who were, the bars and restaurants that were involved.
Yeah.
And obviously it's kind of grown each year. Last year was the first year we did Homebrew and Chill, which was our homebrew competition at All Saints, which is super fun. And then this year, we actually cut back on events a little bit this year from last year. Last year we had like 45. This year we cut back to about 35, 37. It's a little bit easier for people to handle that many events. We're a semi-large area with the greater Greensburg, but we're not a huge area that we can handle a ton of events at the moment. Yeah. So we kind of cut it back a little bit, but our focus was less events, better quality events. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like what I always think of is don't do as many, just do them better. So
that's a
so that was kind of the focus this year for it.
So the Homebrew and Chill, I think that's something that I think is the coolest. Just because I know a bunch of guys that used to like brew beer in their garage or in their basement or whatever, and there's really no outlet for them to share what they're doing, short of going to your friend's barbecue and just like bringing a keg with you or something, or something like that. But that I think is really like kind of motivating for these guys who are home brewers brewing maybe like 5-gallon batches or something, a little bit more than that. But and then you can start to kind of network with other people and things like that. I mean, who knows what that could turn into. There's so many breweries around here. Somebody could say like, hey, your beer's so good, let's partner and we can do it at my place or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's, the most a lot of the breweries came from a home brewer. I mean, Invisible Man, Ted home brewed, it came from that. So, and Jeff at All Saints has been very supportive of home brewers his whole career. So, that was kind of the perfect location to have it. In the first year we had Craft Beer Week, I got messages being like, are you doing anything for home brewers? And that year I didn't really even think about it just because it was the first year. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I researched a ton to make sure that like I wasn't going to screw it up, the week. And then, last year, obviously I was like, all right, we're going to do a big event. It's the only event that we actually put on for the week. We'll sometimes do a night market or like something little, but like that's our big ticketed event that we do for the entire week. So we wanted to make sure that it was done right. And we've done a lot of events. Before Downtown Greensburg Project, we worked with Ashley from the Bike Shop for a few years, and we used to do triathlons and marathons and all these things. So I have that event background to be able to host something. And, before we hosted Homebrew and Chill, I went to beer festivals and a few of those just to see like, okay, I like this about this. I didn't like this, to make sure that I was hitting the mark on all the things I need to hit on, making sure there's water, making sure that there's enough glassware, and there's garbage and that's getting taken care of, and make sure the brewers have what they need, doing the squirt bottle of rinsing out glasses instead of buckets of water, little things that just make it, not really unique, but just make it run smoother. Right. So yeah, it was a lot of fun last year. It was really fun this year. This year we added the collaboration beers where we partnered 2 breweries together, pick names out of a hat, put them together. Then at one of our meetings, so we have meetings starting in March. So we start this, like I already start planning for next year. We already have some events scheduled, but we start meeting with brewers and bars, restaurants, anybody who wants to be involved in March. So we start pretty early for the September event. But at one of our meetings, we had the brewers pick an ingredient out of a hat, and that was the ingredient they had to incorporate into their beer. And then we did a tasting at VIP for those this year. So that was really fun. It was really well received. So we'll see what we do next year with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing. I mean, like, just to, you're getting a ton of people involved, and, those, the people who are super into this, that's the kind of stuff that they would want to see or want to taste, because, what brewery was it? Maybe Trogs or something. They would release like some of their scratch beers and things like that. And those things would fly off of shelves.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like can releases now.
Yeah.
Sometimes that some breweries, people are waiting in line forever for a can release. So it's always fun to sort of incorporate that into the week. Some of the breweries are like, oh, we're going to have a release. I think Yellowbridge had a release with their collaboration with Tapped. They did it last year called Yapped. And then so they did it again. They did another iteration of it this year. And so they always release it like the Thursday, like kind of like as a pre-event.
Right.
They'll release it, and Tapped brings food out, and it's just a nice little event, and they have cans of that beer, and then obviously on draft too. So those are fun to kind of have their releases during the week. That's
cool. On the last episode, Dasher was talking to me. He said that he was the guest MC for the tricycle race.
Yes, he was. He did a great job. Yeah.
He said he had a blast talking about
that. That's such a great event. You didn't go, right?
I didn't get to go. I was like busy this time around. It
was so hot this year at that event.
It was nuts. There's a lot of like trips and stuff that we have scheduled throughout that we really need to like rein in for next year. Because like we end up missing a lot of these cool things. Like for the night market, whenever you had the balloons across the thing, I was in DC.
Yeah.
Luminary night, I was in LA.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm tired of like missing the cool things that happen around here, because I am like one of the guys who want this to happen the most. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you need to we need to send you the schedule like early. Be like, hey, so this is going on. So make sure your vacation is planned accordingly.
There you go. Yeah, I get the list of secrets.
Yeah. Yes.
But I mean, just as far as, having people coming out to these events and things like that, like, are you seeing like a much bigger turnout like year after year, or is it like, pretty steady?
This year for Craft Beer Week, it was weird for me because I missed some things. There was some stuff going on personally, so I wasn't at everything this year. Homebrew and Chill was really great. We had some issues at that event. Our food truck didn't show up, which is always great. Which is all right. We rallied. Yeah. We got the Baldies brought pizza. Lamplighter brought a bunch of food, and so we set up a food thing and we sold food. So we had to turn that around in like a half hour, 45 minutes, get food there.
Shit.
And yeah, I went and sat in the cooler for 10 minutes and cried. I also got locked in the freezer at All Saints.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a funny thing. It was funny. I laughed hysterically. It was funny.
How did it happen?
It was before the food truck thing. They were having a meeting for homebrewers, talking about the judging, because we had BJCP judging this year, and I wanted to check on ice. It was so hot. I wanted to make sure we had enough ice. I'd ordered like 1,500 pounds of ice, for this event. So I was just checking on that. So I went in the freezer, and the door shut behind me, and my flip-flop got stuck on the floor. I don't know if it was because it was hot and it was cold and it just stuck.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to pull my foot up, and I was like, I broke my flip-flop. I was like, this sucks. I got to figure this out. But then I was counting the bags. I went to push, and it has one of those little round.
Right, yeah.
You just push it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I was like, oh. And I was not getting out. And I was like, well, it's really nice in here. It's super hot outside. So I wasn't super upset for a couple minutes. I was like, someone's going to look for me. And I was like, oh, I'll call somebody, because I had my phone. Well, you can't call in a freezer because it's super insulated, so you can't.
Basically like a Faraday cage or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is not good. So I just ended up banging on the door a bunch of times, and I got out. But somebody came and got me. They're like, hello? And I was like, hi, I got locked in here. Yeah. So that day was pretty crazy. It was good though. We have Josh from Spare Change, or he does our music for that event. We had the photo booth out. We had this big Homebrew and Chill sign that Moxie Events helped us do with the background and everything like that. So we had the Laurel Highlands Pour Tour. Have you done that yet? Or gone?
Well, I got
you got your passport?
I got my little passport.
Oh, good.
We have 2 of those in my glove box.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to start getting our stamps.
Yeah.
Every time we go, we don't get it stamped.
You just forget.
We forget.
Well, you get like a fun little sticker.
Yeah.
It's locations.
So that's what we need to do.
Yeah. So like they were there for Sip Brew Box, which is an awesome beer subscription swag box that you can do. They were there. So yeah, we had a really fun time at that one. But overall, I think to kind of circle back from my craziness, I do think there's an increase in people going. I think last year, because we had so many events, there was a night where we probably had like 7 events. There's just people are trying to hop. So you're not really feeling if it's busy or not. Right. You know what I mean? Yep. So, having less events, but better quality kind of helps us. Yeah. On the numbers side. That's
a good point. Yeah. I mean, I could imagine that people want to bounce around.
I do that all night.
Well, for sure.
I think the Monday we had like sushi and beer. We had, I don't know, we had like 3 or 4 events the Monday after Homebrew and Chill. And me and Elise Michaud, she's the photographer we use for pretty much all of our stuff, like our events and everything. Her and I went around to like all the events, hopped around, got some food, made sure we got to everything. But like, if other people, like I know other people at other events were like, oh, we're going here next, or oh, we're going here. So it's really fun to see that people do hop events. We just have to make sure that like when they're getting scheduled that we're not loading up on certain nights. So I do make sure like when people are like, hey, I want to have this event. All right, here's where we're low or light, because we can't have everything on a Thursday or a Wednesday night. So
was the beer festival that they had at the museum, was that was part of craft beer week?
The Oktoberfest one?
Yeah.
That was after. Oh. So that was the launch of their or on tap. So that was in October. Or if you're talking about Kelly's event, like the event at the Cultural Trust did.
I know that I saw you guys had a table.
Blues, Brews, and Barbecue?
Yep.
Yeah. That was like our kickoff event.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's coming back next year. So yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. They did a great job for a first year event. So I'm excited to have that one back for sure. Yeah,
that was a good time. We did go to the museum one as well, the Oktoberfest. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to do it during Craft Beer Week next year. So if they did that, that I think that'd be really awesome to have both, kind of big organizations in town host events. So yeah, we're hoping to have that too.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's really awesome that you are partnering with them because they have such an awesome space up there. Yeah. I mean, the parking lot, but then, if you're out there and you're having some drinks or doing whatever you're doing, going around and shopping, how hard is it to walk 15 more feet and go into the museum and check out all the amazing stuff?
It's free now too. So you can kind of go in whenever you want. We've been big supporters of the museum for quite a while. It's beautiful. I mean, it's nice to just kind of hang out and just kind of walk through. There was some really good exhibits usually. So the last one was awesome. I'm going to butcher his name and I don't even want to say it. It was really beautiful. Yeah. We're just going to go with that because I don't want to and it would just be terrible.
Pop art.
Yes.
The pop art guy.
Yes. He did the posters for movies. Yeah. So that's exciting. And then hopefully you are a part of this project, the Collection 273 project. You did that, didn't you? You had photos in that one?
I didn't. I actually didn't have any photos in that.
Did I not choose any of yours or you not submit?
I didn't submit. You did tell me about it. And I thought it was like one of the coolest things. So I went and told like all of my photographer friends about it. And then I ended up like, oh shit, I didn't do anything for this. And the first time you and I met, we talked about that when we met down at the White Rabbit. And I thought it was like such a cool idea because there's so many like unique people around here. Yeah. That you could go and photograph. If you want to talk about the project a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't even know. Was it 2016, 2017? 2017. We did Collection 273, which was basically show us your Greensburg. So people were able to take photos of, whatever they found in Greensburg that was interesting to them. And then they submitted it via Instagram with a hashtag and they tagged us at Collection 273 was the thing at that point. I can't even get into the account anymore. So I have to get a new one maybe. But so they could submit photos and then I would share the ones that we chose to be part of the project. So then the museum came to us and said, hey, we would love to have this as an exhibit. So we were lucky enough to be able to have an exhibit in the Robert Shaw Gallery, which is the one when you first walk into the right. And they print all the photos and everyone had to write like a little story or a couple sentences with the photo that they submitted. So all of those were listed in like a little book. And then if they were a part of that project, it was the launch of Art on Tap that year. So anybody who was a part of that got to come to Art on Tap and kind of see their photos exhibited and kind of enjoy that event. So yeah, it was awesome. So hopefully we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
We might bring that back.
I mean, just for local artists to see their stuff in a museum, printed, hanging on the wall, or in a book, things like that. I mean, that's next level stuff. That's got to make you. That was
early. That was early on too, and I was like, this is so fun. And I don't think at that point I really understood. I understood, but it didn't feel like it was my project or Downtown Greensburg project, but. And we had a couple photos in there, or I had a couple photos in there, but it wasn't mine. It was for everybody else who was coming to see their stuff, But it was really fun, and I loved it. I want to do it. I want to do it again. I maybe called something different because 273 was the amount of days we had from the start of the project to the end of submissions.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was 273. No one understood why. Everyone asked me how many times.
I was about to ask. Yeah,
that's what it was. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Hopefully, maybe we can start that back up in January. Yeah. We'll see.
That's awesome.
I need something else to keep me occupied.
Right.
So let's do that.
Doesn't seem like it. It seems like you're busy as hell. What do you have coming up? Are there some things that, events or any kind of things that you're involved with that you have coming up here in the next few months? I mean,
obviously Small Business Saturday. We kind of do that, a little event for that.
It's such a great time.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fun.
I like to see that it's getting busier every year.
Yeah.
When I came back from Lancaster, moved here and stuff, Small Business Saturday was kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And now that there's people like you involved, things are starting to get out to social media. Thank God that people our parents' age are starting to use social Facebook, right?
It was really good when it was just an edu email too.
Right. Yeah, it was
so good.
It was like a secret club.
Now it's not.
Now it's not. But Small Business Saturday, I think, is such an important thing. That's something that I look forward to every single year.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have, the disposable income to go and shop a lot, I don't know, go to Lapels and buy some Tommy Bahama shirt or something like that. Still, there are ways that you can do it. Go out and have lunch. Go out to Deviate and grab some coffee.
Yeah.
Buy some pastries. Go up to the White Rabbit. Grab some amazing things that they have going on up there.
Yeah, it's pretty much just about Jeez, I was trying to say something and then it
Awesome how that happens.
My brain went faster than my mouth. It's just about supporting your local area.
Right.
So that's kind of the whole point of Small Business Saturday is to do that. People always are like, oh, this is so great. Everywhere should do this. I'm like, it's national. Right. I think some people don't realize that it's American Express does it, and but they do give you all of those products, the bags and the signage, and they do give you that to us, which is really awesome. So we can give it out to the community. It sucks when we run out of bags. Some people get really frustrated when we run out of bags, but it's they only give us so many. You can't really do anything about it. But yeah, so it's really awesome, and it's now that people are really starting to go out. It's okay. Well, now people are well, where's this store? So now we've kind of done the maps and the listing of what's actually going on that day, who's open, if anybody's having any specials. We try to do that so that people do know. And we'll list that on our website too.
Yeah.
Whenever we get that information from the businesses.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that it's fun to see what's happening down on Pennsylvania Avenue and, see almost any night start to mimic a Small Business Saturday. It's very cool that the local community is going out and supporting local businesses. That's how it was when I lived in Lancaster. And that was something that I just got so accustomed to that it was I would never drive a half an hour to get to the Walmart because I could get anything I wanted in town.
Yeah. I do think that's something that, it's going to become more livable.
Absolutely.
It's definitely it takes time. People are the Facebook people, right. When you're on there, you see the comments and be like, well, they should do this or they should do that, or this isn't fast enough, or why are they doing this? It takes time.
It does take time.
There's been a lot of changes government wise, whether it's regulations or things like that, locally to make things a little bit easier. So hopefully that will spark some more development, everything like that. But, redoing a building that's been empty for 10 years doesn't happen instantly. You know what I
Definitely
mean? It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money, takes a lot of people. So I think seeing that, people like to see it like already done, and I think I would love to see that too, but it's not like that. And it takes time, but it's coming. There's more coming. South Pennsylvania, there's other stuff happening on that street that people don't even know about yet.
Right. Yeah.
Which is super exciting that we'll talk about someday.
Cool. That's awesome. I know, just like, everything is not HGTV, there's not like this team of like 9,000 people that like go in and like finish a building in like a week or anything like that. So it's like to be patient and to see these things happening and then enjoy the small wins, like enjoy what is happening. I mean, it's like a wave. Yeah. Because when I got here, there really wasn't anything happening. Now there's a lot happening, I feel like, and it's only going to get better. I mean, with people like yourself and the cultural trust and things like that, who are really throwing everything into doing stuff like this. Yeah. Spreading the word and, enticing people to come down and really just support the community and things. It's awesome. Yeah. We're seeing a ton of improvement and growth every year. And like even just on South Pennsylvania Avenue alone, within like the last 6 months, or like it's still in progress, there's been 6 or 7 projects. And some haven't even started yet. So it's really like that street is flipping, and it's flipping fast. There's the new restaurant that's going to open there. I'm not sure when. Is that in the 111 spot? Yeah. It's called The Venue. So it should open. I'm not sure. I do see some updates like on what's happening, but I don't really know too much information on exact dates yet. But that's happening. The new facade where like Lapels and McFeely's is, that was completely redone. They got all new windows and looks really nice. It looks gorgeous. Yeah. It really does. 12th Octave just opened, which is a music studio for classes, and they do some other art things there. The co-working space that's going to open at the end of that street on 4th. It's called 4th and Penn. It's on the corner of 4th and Penn. I was just talking to the owner John today about it, and like kind of their progress. So they're going to be opening hopefully soon-ish, beginning of next year. Yeah. For our first co-work space, which I think is something that's needed in town. So there's a lot going on. For sure. Yeah. I mean, just the amount of things that I've become privy to just from doing the podcast and talking to different people is crazy. I just keep learning more and more and more about all the things that are going on. And I think it's just so cool, just to keep seeing all of this progress. Like I said, what do you want to see come next? I'm like real happy as far as like business wise and stuff like that. I'm like real happy with what's going on now. I think that's like really awesome. I'm a big fan. I know Olives and Peppers isn't kind of like a local business. They got a couple different restaurants. I think there's 3 of them, but that restaurant is so good. And that's the first one I think is out kind of near your area, like Trafford, Irwin. Oh yeah, it is in Trafford. Yeah, it's on 130 in Trafford. Like yeah, they have a couple other ones. I just don't know what's going on with that either. So don't ask me that one. It's like very slow moving because I drive past there a lot. I park up there in the Kearns lot to come here. And I'm always just kind of like peeking over there, looking to see what's happening. And there's really not much happening. Yeah. But I think that's really cool. I was real curious about what was going in the 111 space because when 111, the restaurant, was there, that was something that I was just like, oh man, this is like really good food. It's very nice. It's fancy in here. The bar was fun. I mean, it was just a place like, I worked around the corner at that point. So I could just go up and grab a drink, after work or something and go home. It wasn't anything like, you had to drive anywhere to go decompress after work or anything. You just walk down, walk up, go home. Yeah. I mean, that's what I like about, downtown now. It's turning a little bit more livable because you can kind of walk around a bit, like when I lived above the brewery, there wasn't anything below us at that point when I was there at that moment. Next door obviously was still completely empty, right, for a long time. Me and Ashley would go to Poorhouse like every single night. Yeah. This is before Hugo's came in. Hugo's came in right before I moved back to Irwin. So, it was a lot of, it was great to like walk down the street and grab dinner or like walk up to
White Rabbit or Deviate and get coffee. So, it's been really cool. And I'm hoping that, with more apartments going in, like in the building I'm in, there's going to be 10 up there. They're going to be super nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They're insane. Like, they're crazy. They're so beautiful. Like, and they're not even done yet. They're not done yet, but they're so nice. But with those coming in and probably other projects that could have apartments in it, I honestly don't know. There's going to be more people living downtown. So hopefully that kind of encourages maybe a market or maybe some things where it is that you can just walk everywhere to do what you want to do.
It is really neat.
You don't have to drive or park.
Yeah. I mean, it's neat to see just, like I said, the progress happening and things like that. One thing that I did want to ask you though.
Do I believe in parking?
What's that?
Do I believe in the parking?
You want to talk about parking?
We can talk about it later.
Do it. You want to later? I mean, we can do it now. Kelly asked me, she said, flat out, she was just like, do you get frustrated with the parking? Mm-hmm. And me personally, I don't. I'm just like, you're not guaranteed parking anywhere. You go to an event in Pittsburgh that if you get there first, you have prime parking. Yeah. If you come, 10 minutes before the show starts, then you get some walking to do. I mean, it's like that. It's a city. It's not a big city, but it's a city. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, I feel the same way. Like I normally have, I know where to park. Mm-hmm. And it's always I pay for parking, it's like, I do have a couple spots where like people don't always remember that there's a lot there, which is always like you keep on the DL. So you always know a spot. But, I started a little bit of a Facebook fight last week, and I did delete the post just because, and I know you're not supposed to do that, and I know that more than anybody, but I still did it. Yeah. But I had asked because I asked on Instagram, you probably saw it, and I asked it on Twitter, and then I took it to Facebook, which was the wrong move because it's Facebook. Mm-hmm. But I asked if you don't, what did I say exactly? It was like, do you really support small businesses if you refuse to go to them if you can't park directly in front of it?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I still believe that, you're not supporting a business if you refuse to go. Obviously, there's different situations for everybody. If you're elderly, handicap, you have children, small children that, it's difficult with them, completely understand. But if you have the means or the ability to go to a small business and you're not because you can't park within one or two spots. Yeah. And I understand there's other ways to support. Maybe you can shop online. A lot of downtown Greensburg businesses don't have online shopping, or maybe you could share a post. That's great, but your money does more for them sometimes than anything else because, that money is paying for their food on the table that night sometimes, so, I mean, it did start a bit of a fight. It did start a good conversation about parking, about some things that I would love to take, to talk to council members about and see hey, what can we do this or can we do that? Or, it also started people telling me I was shaming them because they shopped at Walmart. I was like, I'm not shaming you. I'm just telling you cool, you go to Walmart, but.
I mean,
I do too, but.
So do I. I mean, I shop there. If I can buy something locally, I'll go do it. Mm-hmm. The last thing that I want to do if I'm Monday, for instance, if I'm trying to fix my bathroom sink, the last thing I want to do is take 30 all the way out to Home Depot or Lowe's. I just ran down to Bort's, grabbed something real quick, went home. Super easy. It's literally
faster sometimes.
It is.
I mean, where I live, I don't live in downtown. I live in North Huntington, so live in a residential area. Right. So for me, I have to go to Target or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Target's just dangerous because you're going to spend money.
Sure is.
And I'd rather, go to, if I'm going to buy clothes, I'd rather buy it at a local place. So I try, but, you have to go to those places because of where I live. But here they have the opportunity to kind of pop into some of these places that are locally owned. Sometimes they've been around for a really long time. And it's that, and then it could be, let's just say a business closed. Let's say it was called Bob's. We'll just say something random. They sold, I don't know. Phone cases.
There you go.
I'm trying not to put anything that anybody has because I don't ever want to jinx anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was, I just bought mine online.
Yeah.
And it's okay, cool. And you were friends with them. It's it's really hard. You want to support your friends, but sometimes it's nice to just go in and buy it.
It is.
If you have to walk a half a block, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
I do understand. I say I do understand like there are hills in Greensburg, we're not a flat area.
Right.
We can't change the topography. You just can't, like, I'm sorry. Like, but, yeah, so like it was a little strong. It was a strong message, and I knew that.
Yeah.
And it was meant to be.
I don't see anything wrong with it. I wish I would have seen it because I would have just been reading the comments, just like, eating the popcorn, watching the comments rolling.
Your GIF would have been just that
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely. Michael Jackson sitting in the sitting in the movie theater. But it just like, I understand circumstances.
Yeah.
100%.
That does not mean yeah.
But what I get out of like I said, Thursday nights, me and my wife we usually hit Oliver's, hit Invisible Man, or, before Invisible Man was there, we'd maybe run up to the Rialto and grab a beer afterwards, or Toads or something. I like parking further away because that gives us an opportunity to walk around.
Yeah.
Like, I like walking around the city. That's something that I appreciate doing because I lived in Lancaster, because I spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, like, did you live, outside? Like, where did you?
I grew up in North Huntington.
Okay.
Went to Slip Rock for school. Lived here for a little bit. I'm back in Irwin. I travel a lot, and I normally travel a lot. I'm in Pittsburgh a lot too.
Yeah.
Whether it's client work or, meeting with friends, like I do try to, and I'll travel like normally after craft beer week, I do a solo trip. And go to like a city. So last year I went to Portland, Maine by myself. That's awesome. It was gorgeous. And it was extremely walkable. I did an Airbnb and like a house, and I walked everywhere. Unless it was like late at night, I took an Uber back. But for like 1 mile, I was like, ugh. I was like, Jess, you have to like take an Uber. So, but it was awesome. And they had some really like the coolest stuff. Just how some of their businesses were set up in some of the breweries. It was really cool. I would love to see that happen. Some of those things happen here. There was like container boutiques, like shipping containers created into boutiques.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So they were really cool. So I'm like, knock down a building and do it.
Right.
But so we do get a lot of ideas that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think what we talked about on the first episode, me and Sean were talking about just like, I lived in Lancaster for a short period of time. He lived down in the Southside Works. And that's people our age we're seeing things that are happening in places that, now we don't live, but now we live here, and we want to like bring a little bit of that into our area.
Yeah.
And I think that there's enough of us that have experienced that, whether it be living somewhere else or travel a lot or something like that, that I see it happening, and it's incredible.
Yeah. And it's really cool when someone's like, I remember there was people that walked into the White Elephant boutique when they first opened. It was like, I can't believe this is in Greensburg. Right. And like with them and the brewery next door, we can't believe this is here, because I feel like some people our age have been waiting for things like this to come in. Yeah. Because the boutiques we have are fantastic, but bringing in something fresh every once in a while isn't a bad thing. It helps everybody in the long run by, you're going to one store, you're going to go to other stores. Yeah. But I think those have really helped, and for people to say that is kind of exciting to hear, because then they're like, oh, what's coming next? Yeah.
I mean, the night of the opening for the White Rabbit and the Invisible Man, like when we were there, we're inside this building, you're there, you're talking to your friends, you're having fun, you're drinking beers. And then, you step outside for a minute, and that's when like I looked at my wife and my friend Megan and was like, we're in fucking Greensburg. Yeah. Like, this is awesome. Like, this is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that's like whenever I do night market, and when it's on the street and there's the balloons and it's packed, I'm like, whoa, like, this is in Greensburg, and like, it's awesome. Like, and I'm like, I can't wait to do it again, It really. And then I'm also like, cool it stresses me, but that's why people are like, why do we always see you at a bar? I'm like, this
is why. Yeah. Speaking of which, so we have hit an hour.
Oh,
so
yes.
I would like to have you just kind of, plug up all the things. Where can people find you? Where can they get information about, the Downtown Greensburg project. Everyone knows what the Downtown Greensburg project is.
Sometimes.
But, as far as what you have to share for future events coming up or anything like that, if you want to.
Sure. So they can always find us at our website, which is downtowngreensburgpa.us. And then Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, type in Downtown Greensburg Project, you'll find us. Also at any events we have coming up, obviously Small Business Saturday, which is November 30th, Luminary Night, which is December 5th. And I think that's all we have for this year. We're going to take a little break and then come back next year and see what we have planned.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with your office and everything.
Thanks.
I'm super excited.
I'm super excited.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.